There's a lot of different Mexican layered dip recipes out there. What I like about this one is it starts with a layer of cream cheese. And yeah, I'm all about cream cheese and cheese of any sort. So we're going to do 1 block of softened cream cheese. And if you are doing this for a game, you're having people over, this is a recipe that's so easy to double or even triple and do it in a big, nice big 9x13 casserole dish. So in with my cream cheese to give it some flavor, because it's kind of boring as is now, we're going to do 1 can of diced green chilies. Yeah, I bet you never heard of adding that to your cream cheese and putting that in as one of the layers for our Mexican bean dip. It's really tasty. You're going to like this. Okay, so I'm going to use a mixer to get that cream cheese a little bit smooth so it's spreadable. It's easier if you get it at room temperature. And I really want to mix those green chilies in there good. Love green chilies. They're not spicy at all, but they've got so much great flavor. Ireland went to her first football game of the season last night. Yeah, those high school football games, they start early, and she was all excited, and she dyed her hair, not dyed, like sprayed it blue, and she's a blonde, so I was like, oh my gosh, is that gonna come out? I'm happy to report this morning it did. She washed her hair and it was all good, but it was a little frightening at first. So anyway, okay, this layer is done. Now we're gonna work on the bean layer. And it starts with 1 can of refried beans. They also can be a little bit boring, so we're going to give them a little extra flavor. And by the way, this is the perfect weekend to dive into our latest book club book. You've been hearing me talking about it. You've been wanting to join. I know you have. Come on, you have. Well, just do it like the Nike commercial says. Go out and get the book or load it on your Kindle or your Nook and read along with us. We're reading a great new book that's getting really wonderful reviews. It's called The Orphan Train. So go find the book. Should be pretty easy to find. And go read. Get reading. It should be a pretty quick book. It's not super thick. And then join us for the fun. September 11th, 5:30 at the Bottle Room in Swamico. It's free. And they put out some great snacks, and then we can just buy a beverage or two and just discuss the book and just hang out and chat. It's great fun. The Bottle Room does a spectacular job. They do ask that you call as soon as possible. If you could call today, just to let them know you're coming, or maybe you're bringing a friend, and reserve your spot. The number to call is right on the screen, or you can go to our website and get the number right there. So see you at book club. Be there or be square. One of my tips for refried beans is they're pretty stiff when they come out of the can. So if you pop them in the microwave for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, it's going to help spread those beans as one of the layers in this dip. So as I said, this is a layered dip, and we've got a few different fun layers going on. And one of the layers is some lettuce, and I'm not a big fan of using iceberg lettuce unless I'm doing a wedge salad. I do happen to love a good wedge salad. So pick yourself up some romaine or some nice leafy lettuce. You're still going to get that same nice bright color, a lot of the lettuces still have the same great crunch, but they're just much better for you. Okay. So my beans are a lot softer now, and to give them some flavor, I'm going to add 1 packet of your favorite taco seasoning mix. Some of these mixes are spicy, so it's up to you if you want to do, a little spice. For me, I like to keep things kind of mild, and you can always do jalapeno peppers on the side for those people who can't really take the heat. Okay, so I'm mixing together the beans, oh that smells good, and the taco seasoning mix. And that's going to be the first layer for this dip. So maybe you've got a small casserole dish or a plate you can put this on. I'm going to do it in a shallow pie dish. The key with the layer dip is to really try as hard as you can to not mix the layers. And I also like, if you can, to see the different layers. So you'll see what I'm talking about when I put this together. So I'm carefully spread the beans in our pie dish. All new shows next week too, and we're really proud of some of the fun shows and ideas that we're putting together for our new season. We are back in the saddle, Anne's favorite saying. This weekend, though, I do have to admit, even though we had back to school week in our house, I'm looking forward to carving out a little end of summertime. I think we're going to do a family bike ride. Riley also goes back to school next week. So, you know, those family moments are, once they're back in school and they've got all those activities and the football game that goes until late last night, which, by the way, her school won, Notre Dame won. So who did they play last night, Greg? I didn't go to the game. Sheboygan South. Okay, so good game, I know that. All right, so next down over our beans goes this cream cheese, which is my favorite layer, but they all really work well together. Cream cheese and green chili layer. On the show next week, we just have some fun things planned for you. We're doing, Monday on the show, we're doing Snack Attack. Back to school and this time of year means you need to have lots of snacks for the lunch bags and all those after school activities. You got to have snacks around. We have put together some fun ideas for snacking that I think you're really going to enjoy. We're also doing some quick fixes, dinners that you can put on the table in a real hurry. And it's still grilling season, so we've got a great grilling show next week too. Okay, so here's our second layer. I just want to get every little last bit of this cream cheese off the spatula, so I'm going to use another spatula to do that. Okay, now time for some more layers. We're going to do some shredded lettuce. What I like to do if you're making this like morning of, I don't really like to do this next set of toppings until maybe an hour or so before the game. So you can certainly do the first two layers, get that done, parked in the fridge, but the toppings maybe an hour or two before the party or whatever your happy hour. Just because we're going to use some tomatoes and those can get a little watery. I want the lettuce to still have a little crispness to it. I want this dip to be fresh and still have some crunch. Okay, so down goes our shredded lettuce. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Now we're going to do some, and I should have done my salsa down first, but it doesn't really matter. You can spoon some, your favorite salsa, kind of spoon it over that cream cheese layer or even just dollop it around. Mexican blend cheese, lots of it. And basically your favorite Mexican fixings. I've got some seeded diced tomato. You could do some black olives. You can do jalapeno peppers, which I happen to love if you want a little kick to it, or do those on the side. And this makes a nice big size dip. I mean, this is filling with the cream cheese and the beans. And then got to serve it with a whole bunch of tortilla chips. Baked tortilla chips if you wanted to keep it a little healthy. That's up to you. But watch this dip disappear. And as I mentioned, if you are having a crowd, I'm going to throw some scallions on here. It really is great to maybe double this and do this whole recipe in a nice 9x13. So we are just getting this whole party started. This is fun hors d'oeuvre number 1. Coming up, we've got lots more. We're doing buffalo meatballs, bacon spinach bites, stuffed peppers, and of course a couple fun cocktails too. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.